Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Hello there, and welcome to this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. We are on episode number 323, and we're talking about your 2026 profit plan for daily sales on Amazon. This is going to be a good one. With me to talk about this is Stephen Smotherman. Hey, Stephen, are you ready to make some profits in 2026?
I mean, I am so ready. And I can't wait, and this is going to be good, and we're going to discuss it all today on how you can have a 2026 profit plan on the Full-Time FBA Show.
As we're getting started here, I want to let you know that we have a newsletter that goes out on a regular basis, and we want to make sure that you are signed up to get all the news, all the notifications, coupon codes, discounts, any upcoming trainings that we have at the Full-Time FBA newsletter. You can subscribe to that at fulltimefba.com/subscribe. That is where we have the best notifications and news going on. So make sure that you are subscribed there. fulltimefba.com/subscribe.
So in this season of giving, we have a gift for you. And what's really cool, it's a gift that does not require a gift receipt. And your gift is this podcast episode today. Your gift is your 2026 profit plan. We want to help you outline and get the ball rolling on making some really good profits in 2026. And what that entails is a little bit of math. But this is fun math. This is math that is data plus systems plus consistency equals daily sales in 2026.
I'm glad that it's that kind of math, not like math with numbers.
Yes, and carry the 4 and integers
Long
and
division.
parentheses and yeah. But you know what? If you are tired of the feast or famine roller coaster of Amazon sales, then that's the answer. Data plus systems plus consistency equals daily sales in 2026.
And if you have consistency, it's going to lead to stability, not just in your sales, which will then give you consistency in your cash flow, but just in your life in general and in what it's like to run your business. The psychology and the feelings of running your business will have stability. And so there's 6 parts to this plan that we want to go over with you now. That's going to be the rest of this episode, what we're going to flesh out. So part 1 of this plan is going into 2026, make sure that you are choosing your categories intentionally. This is one of the earliest steps you can take in making a plan for solid profits at any time, but especially heading into the new year, seems like a fresh start. I mean, honestly, the new calendar year is kind of arbitrary, but like when it comes to running a business, it's not arbitrary. We're getting into Q1. And if you want to be intentional about your business overall, picking which categories you're going to focus on is a really great way to get started. And you do that by choosing a handful of categories, not every category in the Amazon catalog, and then budgeting for them accordingly. So start off by just picking 3 to 5 categories that you want to master. They might be ones that you already are doing well in and you want to double down, or they might be ones where you want to learn more. You can choose from anything in the catalog. We ourselves are doubling down on beauty, toys, grocery, and we're going to improve how we've been selling in the household category.
Yeah, and if you're hearing this and you're thinking, I just want to sell whatever I find that's profitable, we understand the temptation for that, but where the magic really happens is when you focus. You might have heard me say multiple times on the podcast or other places, YouTube, the blog, the acronym for FOCUS, FOCUS, follow one course until successful. And so when you focus, the profits, they just get easier. You begin to start seeing patterns that really become obvious, certain things that really stand out to you that don't stand out to you when you're just so scattered on every single category. But the focusing on a certain category or just a small amount of categories really can help you grow your Amazon business, especially when it comes to replens. You're able to find replens faster when you're focusing on specific categories. So instead of trying to sell everything, just try this out. for January. Focus on a couple categories, really go deep, and you're going to see some results.
And you're also going to learn quickly when you do that, not just what sells well, but also what not to sell, what doesn't work well for you, what's not worth your time. And that's worth gold knowing that.
All right. So the part 1 of our 6-part process, choosing your categories intentionally. And the second part is focusing on fast turns. I mean, if your goal is to make daily sales and or at least to get to that point and then grow from there, you need to sell what sells daily. I mean, that's where the information comes in. The data comes in that you're looking at. Focus on items that move quickly. In fact, we teach people who coach with us to sell items on Amazon that mainly sell within 30 to 45 days. That's what we mean by items that sell quickly. And so to be able to do that, you need to understand Keepa graphs. We talk about Keepa all the time on the podcast, and it helps you with having the pricing history and sales rank history on almost every single item on Amazon. And so you can look into the past to best predict the future. And so if you're like, how do you know what sells quickly in 45 days or less? You look at a Keepa graph and you look at that item and you check to make sure that there's steady demand and steady pricing. And then price competitively. And then when you need to reprice, if you need to lower your price or maybe raise your price. But when you are focused on items that sell quickly, you're going to be able to get daily sales. I mean, this method prioritizes the cash flow, which is basically your oxygen for your business in order to keep breathing.
All right, part 3 of our profit plan for daily sales in 2026 is to focus on replens as the anchor of your daily sales. Replens are where it's at. Stephen mentioned that if you want daily sales, then you need to sell what is selling daily. And daily sales rely on having a good stock of replenishable products that you're sending in on a consistent basis because they are selling on a consistent basis. So you're not just focusing on fast turns, period. You're focusing on fast turns that you can sell, restock. So focus on a goal for the first quarter, even just looking at January and February, of finding one new replen to try and restock per week. Set this goal for yourself. Challenge yourself to do what it takes, whether you do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, have wholesale sourcing in your portfolio. Find one new replen per week to try out. Even if the profit is just a few dollars for that one replen, if you're turning that item over and over, that profit's going to build. And you're also building a skill and ramping up your inventory when you do that. So one new replen a week for January and February is a good goal to have.
Yeah. And if you can start to build up your replenishable inventory, maybe to 20 SKUs that you're restocking on a regular basis, then the entire composition of your business will be vastly different. And you're going to see that difference in the stability of your revenue and your profits. Being able to have at least 20 SKUs that you on a consistent basis are reordering, resending to Amazon, continuing to sell. And when you start to sell out, you send more in, those replens will compound your profits. And you're going to have a very different business and a different life because of that.
All right, part 4 of our plan for increasing your profits in daily sales in 2026 is to time block your sourcing like a business owner. This is something that I have been dwelling on and teaching to our coaching students, teaching in Momentum FBA for the past few months. You've probably heard me say it, I don't know how many times, over and over again.
490 times.
Possibly.
Okay.
If you've counted, I believe you. I trust you there. But this is something that is so important because without this, you are going to just flail and have no consistency in what you're doing, and your profits are going to show that. So pick specific sourcing windows on your schedule. Block out your time. Use a written planner if that works for you. Use your digital calendar in your phone, whatever works for you. Block out that time each day, each week, however you need to do it, for when you're going to source, for when you're going to do particular tasks in your business, and then protect that time. Start with just 15 minutes if you need to. If you are working another 9 to 5, if you have a busy schedule with your kids, if you are taking care of somebody else and you are working part-time, do whatever it takes to just start with 15 minutes if that's what it takes, and then build from there. Or if you have more time, if this is, you have all the time in the world, Start with an hour each day, or an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, and then make the most of that time that you have available. Protect your time that you have set aside on your calendar to work on your business like you are your own super aggressive executive assistant. That's been the metaphor that I have worked with for weeks and for months now, treating my time like I am just a real bulldog of an executive assistant who protects my CEO's time and will not let anybody in the office, will not let any phone calls through. No, they're busy. You cannot talk to them right now. So an example of the kind of schedule that I'm talking about, this is totally just an example, but it's something that's very workable. Let's say that on Monday, you put down a block of time where you're going to work on OA. Tuesday, you're going to spend checking on your replens. Wednesday, you're going to do wholesale follow-up emails or any type of price list for wholesale. Thursday, you're going to work in another OA sourcing block. And then Friday, you're going to do any type of account maintenance you need to do in Seller Central, and you're going to put together any shipments that you need to do. This is just an example of a schedule where you're blocking out your time, you're batching your tasks, and your sales will become more consistent as your schedule gets more consistent.
So part 5 of our profit plan for 2026 is to do this, to track what's working and then get rid of what's not. I mean, if you're not already addicted to spreadsheets and trackers, then I want 2026 to be the year that you become addicted. Dig deep into the data of your own inventory. I mean, we talk all the time about the data of Keepa and why it's so important to look into the past sales rank history, pricing history, look at that data and make the choices and ways to source inventory based on that data. Well, guess what? You have your own source of data with your time that you spend in your business, what you focus on, what's profitable. So look into your own inventory and its performance and see what kind of data trends that you can see in that. Are there items that maybe you should double down on that you're not aware of that you would really do well if you focused more on that item or that particular category? Maybe there's items you need to stop selling because they're not worth the effort. Maybe there are certain categories that are draining you and your profits and you need to let go of. Maybe they used to work well in the past, and so you're kind of still stuck in that past, hoping it's going to return and get better. But sometimes we need to pivot, and which categories should we be focusing on instead? These are the kind of things that you can look at the data, look at your own business reports in Seller Central, look at your own spreadsheets that you are tracking when it comes to your sourcing, and grow from there. Basically, great businesses become great by subtraction just as much as by addition. So get rid of the things that aren't working and double down on what is.
And then the last step that we have for you, the last part that we want to give you for this profit plan for 2026 is that you need to be working on improving your gating access quarterly. So if you want Q4 of 2026 to have double the ungated inventory or quadruple or exponential what you had in Q4 of 2025, then you need to start working on that now. Start working on it in Q1 of 2026. When this episode drops, we're still in Q4 of 2025. Start now. You can start this now. Work through our restriction buster ungating process on a quarterly basis. That restriction buster process is found in our Momentum FBA membership, and it is a process, a system that we use for getting ungated in more brands and ASINs on a regular basis. It is not a glamorous process, but it is one that works. It requires following a system, setting reminders, following up, working through these restrictions on a regular basis. But if you do it, you will see more brands and ASINs be opened up to you over the next few months. And when you get to Q4 next year, you're going to be selling so many more brands and ASINs than you were this year.
Yeah, and I love hearing from our students with their experience, like, oh my gosh, I took your advice and started going through this process that you teach on how to get approved to sell more stuff. And guess what? I am approved for more items to sell on Amazon, and it just keeps getting better and better. And we love that. So those are the 6 steps. Let me kind of recap the 6 steps, the parts to your profit plan for 2026. Number 1, choose your categories intentionally. Part 2, focus on fast turns. Part number 3, replens are going to be the anchor of your daily sales in 2026, so focus on replenishable inventory. Part 4, time block your sourcing like a business owner. It's not just going to miraculously appear. You need to time block it. Part 5, track what's working and get rid of what's not working. And lastly, part number 6, improve your gating access quarterly.
All of these steps that we covered in this episode are what we teach in depth in Momentum FBA. Daily sales are within your grasp in 2026, and we can help you get there. It's the fastest way to make a full-time income selling on Amazon via FBA in 2026, and it's the best way to build a business that will help you reach your financial and lifestyle goals. You can find out more and join us inside the Momentum FBA membership at fulltimefba.com/momentum, where we help you get daily sales on Amazon. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As a reminder, any of the links we mentioned, including Momentum FBA and all of the show notes for this episode, can be found at fulltimefba.com/323, because this is episode number 323.
And next week on the Full-Time FBA Show, we're taking a holiday break. We're going to be enjoying some time with family. We also hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and enjoy time with your loved ones also. So there's no podcast next week, but we'll be back the week after that with more Full-Time FBA Show. And we can't wait to help you make daily sales in your Amazon business in 2026.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today, so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.